I'm going to do a short stream. I'm going to just probably 30 minutes, just basics of how I use DaVinci. Yeah. Right, microphone check. Yep, microphone is working. Desktop audio is turned up. Okay, good. What do I need to have set up here? Okay. That one. Are you kidding me? I don't want to do that. I just want to do that, do that. Okay. Just got to make sure I've got the right scene set up here. So I've got the main screen, desktop audio, and the mic. So that should be working as well. Okay, going to do a stream showing the basics of how I use DaVinci Resolve to put gameplay video together, titles, background music, and that's it. Just how you cut the clips together very roughly, no fancy effects, but just to do a basic a basic edit. This is at the request of a subscriber and frequent guest on the podcast. So this is like I mean, I'm not a professional. I've done no training here. But just what I've learned. So let's get into it. Let's launch DaVinci. And I'll walk you through it. Okay, it can take a minute or two to load. It's a complicated program. When it loads, you'll get a project homepage. You can have multiple projects. You can create new projects down here. You can create subfolders. You'll see that DaVinci supports the ability to store projects on network servers, on the cloud. I don't use any of that. Those are features that are more for your professional studios, multiple editors collaborating at the same time. For the sort of things that we do on the podcast, the sort of things that you might do with your own gameplay footage, you just use local. So let's create a new project. And because I've got no imagination at all, I'm going to call it LTAC test. The project opens up here. Now I need to change a little bit of the layout here, because normally I have this on two screens. So I have the main screen, then on the second screen I have my media library. But I'm going to change that here because that won't work for the stream. And I don't remember where you change it. So I've just got to quickly look through this menu and show panel in workspace. Yes. Primary display. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Somewhere in here there is an option to change it. And I can't remember where it is. Is it media? Because the media panel is going to open up on the second page, on the second screen. Dual screen off. Right, good. So we have everything on one screen. I'm streaming this at HD quality, which should be enough to see what's going on. If it's not, I'll do it again, and that's fine. So when DaVinci opens up, it's going to be baffling. There are a lot of panels, there are a lot of buttons, there are a lot of menus. And where do you even start? The basic premise of DaVinci is down here on this toolbar. and you work left to right. So you've got media, cut, edit, fusion, color, fairlight, and deliver. And you work through your workflow left to right. Media is where you select the media you're going to work with. You're going to edit together. That could be your video, stills, images. You can import graphics and all sorts. The cut page I never use. It's for doing rough cuts of large volumes of media. I never use it. I go straight to edit, and I think that's absolutely fine for the sort of stuff we do on the podcast and the sort of stuff that you would do if you're editing gaming footage. Edit is where you'll spend a lot of time putting clips together, putting audio, putting titles, all the rest of it. Fusion is your motion graphics. Very, very powerful. I don't use it because it's an entire subject all on its own. Color is for color correction. There's one very neat thing in the color panel that I'll show you, which is for taking very high quality stills from video footage. That's really useful, especially if you're doing thumbnails. But other than that, I don't do color correction. But this is a very capable tool. I think DaVinci started as a color correction tool. So this is where, a lot of their knowledge is. Fairlight, although it's got the word light in it, is actually for sound. This is a very capable sound editing studio. I'd like to learn how to use it and switch the podcast, because I do all the editing in the podcast, the audio in Audacity, then I bring the audio into DaVinci and do the video component. It would actually simplify my workflow to switch it all and do it all in DaVinci, but it's a case of learning a new tool. Is it worth it? Probably not. And then deliver is where you render, you prepare the final video file. You'll see up here on the top left, different file formats are supported, and there's all kinds of quality settings as well. So I'm going to do a really simple cut of a couple of video clips. I'm going to put some background sound and a title, and we'll go from there. First of all, I've got some stuff recorded here. I've got some clips from Fortnite that were captured automatically. I'm going to take a couple of very short clips from Fortnite, and I don't know what else I've got recorded here. I could take a Cyberpunk clip as well, and we'll just put them together as a very short, like 30-second video, just to show you what you can do. Excuse me. So start from the left and you go left to right. Start with media. You've got to tell DaVinci what media it's working with, and you do that with the media tab. So I've stored some favorites over here. So I've got downloads, my NVIDIA game recording folder. That's where all of my NVIDIA shadow play stuff goes, and then anything captured with OBS goes into the OBS folder. These are all on my D drive, you can see up here, so you can browse through your drive. I can scroll down to NVIDIA game recording, and then I can add that folder to the favorites. There's an option here to do that, so you can build up a list of favorite locations where you store your video files. Let's go into the Fortnite folder. You can quickly preview. I'll take that clip, right click, add to media pool. That's popped up, change frame rate. I forgot about this. Let's go back to the edit page. Before you get started, you want to set your timeline. As you see, there are so many options in here. I don't know what almost any of them do. The only one I do set is the timeline. In this case, just to make it quicker, I'm going to do HD 60 frames a second. You want to set that before you start bringing media in and cutting it together. So this time I'm doing HD 60 FPS. If you were doing vertical videos for Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you can check this box and you'll see it reverses the resolution of the finished video. But we're going to do normal landscape video here. This is HD, but you can do up to 4K. 60 FPS, save. Okay, let's go back to media. Let's add another, not that one, I don't know, one where I'm doing cool stuff. Let's add another Fortnite clip in there. And let's add, I don't know, a Cyberpunk clip or something. Yeah, we'll take that one. So we've got 3 video clips now down here in our media pool. We go to the edit page. Actually, I've thought of something else I want to bring in. I want to bring in some random background music. So I'm going to go to Cyberpunk resources and I'm going to bring in Bells of Laguna Bend, which is from the soundtrack, which I have as an MP3. The whole soundtrack is available as MP3s from CDPR. So, go to the edit page. Over on the left here, we've got a media pool button. We bring that in. So now we have the media pool visible on the left. We've got our timeline on the right. Let's drag in our first Fortnite clip, and our second one, and our Cyberpunk clip. Now, this is very long. I don't want to render all of this because it will take ages. So I'm just going to shrink the media pool down just to give us a bit more space to work. This is your timeline. You've got a video track and an audio track. You can create more tracks if you need them. You can also drag videos up like this if you want to create more tracks. If you've got to sort of layer over different video layers. I'm going to hide the media pool on the left here just to give us more space to work. And I'm going to drag this down just so you can see in the preview panel what's going on. So this is the playhead, and you can just drag that through to the... So I think I got an elimination here. Yeah, I did. So we'll go to there where I want the clip to start. I'm going to zoom in. Now, you can also use the mouse wheel, so you can hold Control and scroll through the timeline, or you can hold Alt to zoom in and out. So I'm going to use Alt and mouse wheel to zoom in. You've got various editing management tools here. I just use the blade tool. I do a cut. Then I go to the arrow tool, which is A. Highlight the bit of footage I don't want and delete it. And now my video starts there. So let's scrub through, jump. We do an elimination. Okay, that person's down. That's all we need. Let's use the blade tool. That's B. Let's cut again. Get rid of that. Let's have a look at the second clip. What am I doing here? Let's use Alt and mouse wheel to zoom out. Do I get an elimination here? I certainly knocked him a long way. Yeah, I do. Let's just cut this again. So B for the blade tool, click to cut, A to go back to arrow tool, delete. You can use the J, K, and L keys. Keyboard shortcuts here are very useful. So if you press L, that will play forward. K stops, and J plays everything backwards. Okay, we got him. Let's use the blade tool. Delete the stuff we don't want. Okay, now I know this scene very well. We're going to skip most of this. We'll take the bit where they actually start properly rocking. And we'll put in about 20 seconds of that. Use the blade tool to delete what we don't need. And then you've got this button here on the toolbar, full extent zoom, click that, and now it expands the timeline to fill the screen. So we've got 25, 26 seconds here, 3 different clips. So we can go back to the start, press L, and we can just look through it. A couple of eliminations in Fortnite. That sword is amazing. And then a bit of Cyberpunk. Each video clip has its linked audio clip. You can change the volume of those by, there's a little line here. So if you want the audio to be really quiet, you can change the audio levels right down. And I'm going to add some backing audio here. So I'm going to add Bells of Laguna Bend from the media pool up here on the left. And I'm going to stick that in there. Now that is a very long song, so we'll just trim it down. You can see here I'm using these handles at the end of the clip just to bring that right down. So we've got some background audio. And the last thing we need is a title. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of the media pool. We'll go to Effects up here on the left. There's loads and loads and loads here. These are all out of the box. Most of these you can use. Some of them are locked behind the paid version. You've got transitions. You've got different wipes. You can see there on the preview screen how those look. Most of them I don't use because they don't look very good. I guess if you're doing like Star Wars with its famous for its wipes, you might want that. Some of them are very cool, like this not cross dissolve, crash zoom. That's cool. Anyway, we want titles. Again, there's a lot here. Animated titles, glitch titles, titles for different, very corporate titles, comic book titles. Honestly, I just go with the most basic text. So you drag that down to your timeline, and now look, we've got text over here on the right hand side. Let's shrink that down a little bit. Now click the text, and we're going to go over to the top right here to the inspector. The inspector is the really important part of DaVinci. It's like it's your properties. This is where you configure everything in this title box. So we're going to call this Fortnite Elimination 1. You can choose fonts. You can load additional fonts. Basically, it reads every font that you have in your system. So if you download more free fonts, Google Fonts is a good source of free fonts. You can have whatever fonts you like. You can double click these boxes to set the properties exactly, or you can just drag there. So you see where it turns into a double-headed arrow. Drag to the right to make the text large. You can set the alignment. You can set the X and Y coordinates of the position, all of that stuff. We're going to make that quite short duration. If I just drag that in a bit and just press play, Fortnite Elimination 1. And I will go with the text box highlighted and the playhead over here. I can go copy and paste, and I can call this Fortnite Elimination 2. And I'll put another text box over here. Cool, and this is the band Samurai rocking out. Now we've got text over the top of our clip. And there's a lot you can do. Obviously, this is very basic. There's all sorts of advanced effects you can download. People make sort of macros that you can download that are, pre-animated and stuff. But you can see here, even on the most basic text box, as well as changing the color. Yellow is a very definitive color of cyberpunk game, so let's make that yellow. Size, you can do tracking, so you can make the text more compact. Change the case. You can zoom, so you can actually have it zoom in and out, and you can animate that quite easily if you want to, but I'm not going to do that today. Drop shadow, background, all of that stuff. There's loads you can do, even with the most basic text box. Fortnite Elimination 2. I tell you what, let's where is I'm looking for something. Is it in settings? So we can change the transform. Composite, that's what I want. So you can change how this overlays. So you can check the composition mode here, for example, to difference, and it'll overlay the text in just a bit more of an interesting way. So there's a lot of things you can experiment with here, just to make it more interesting. Let's go back to the start and let's zoom in. So let's zoom in with the mouse wheel. In nicely. You don't want it just, you can have a sort of a sharp cut, or you can just bring the audio and so on in. So there's a little handle, tiny little white handle here. You can drag that in, and that'll fade the audio in over, what, half a second? That'll fade the game in over half a second. So it starts with a black screen and then fades in. That's a simple way of just bringing a piece of footage in nicely. Just over half a second is enough to make it look good. We've got a cut here between two video clips. Let's put a transition in. Cross dissolve. can look pretty good. So you just find you can preview what it will look like just by running your mouse cursor over the dissolve. So it'll show you how it will cut between the two scenes. Looks pretty good actually. But there was one earlier I wanted to try. It was the crash zoom. Oh yeah, let's try that. So you drag that, drop it on the timeline. You can see the box for the zoom, and again, if you click the crash zoom, so click the effect, the inspector over here on the right will change, and it'll show you what you can configure within that effect. You can create your own effects if you really get into it. Now let's play it back. So we've got a fade in, title, a transition. What we're going to do is we're going to fade the title in and out. So let's go back to this Fortnite text. We're going to fade that in just over 0.1 of a second and then fade it out. That probably looks a little bit nicer, but you know, it's about what effect do you want, what looks good. I don't know, I'm not an editor. That's the basics of it. Multiple layers of audio. You can change the volume of the different pieces of audio. So you might do a narration, so you can have a separate audio track where you're recording your narration. You might layer video on top. You can do that. In fact, let me show you what that looks like. What I'll do is, if I go back to the media pool, I'm going to add one of those Fortnite clips again, and I'm going to put it on top of the samurai performing. Let's just trim it down. There we go. So from your viewpoint of your eye is up here and it looks down. So from the playhead, you're looking down through the clip. So the clip on top is the clip you see first. So here's samurai playing, and then we cut to Fortnite. Well, we can do effectively picture in picture. If we highlight the Fortnite clip, go over to our inspector. If we zoom out, sorry, not position. If we zoom out, well, now we can have our Fortnite clip laid over our samurai clip. So let's say you want to talk to camera and have your face overlaid over a presentation or something. You can do that just by having a separate audio clip of your face and then audio clip of the presentation. You can layer them on top of each other. One other thing I'll show you which is really useful is if I get rid of the media pool, generators. Generators are really, really handy. And one I've used a few times, including for work, is the 4-color gradient. Now, like that, it's quite bright, which is pretty cool. But if you want, let's get rid of that clip to the end. Sometimes you've got footage that doesn't fill the screen, or you just want something a bit more interesting. Let's put the Fortnite clip like that. Let's zoom it in. So let's say you've got video footage that doesn't quite fill the screen, or if you zoom in, you would sort of ruin the quality. You want to fill the screen out. You can drag a color gradient behind it. And now you've got something that sort of fills the screen and looks a bit better. Of course, you can change the colors so it looks nicer, or maybe it matches your corporate colors or whatever. But I find just 4 colors similar but not the same actually looks pretty good. And probably darker colors as well. I would spend more on this than I am right now. But a color generator can be a nice way of filling the screen. I'll show one more very quick thing. Let's add a still image. Let's go to the media pool. Nope, sorry, the media tab. Let's get a cyberpunk screenshot. So that's in game recording, cyberpunk. Do I have any screenshots in here? I think these are all, oh yeah, we do. Right, let's take that screenshot. Let's add that into the media pool. Let's go to the edit page. So this is a screenshot from towards the end, obviously spoilers, blah, blah, blah. So I want the screenshot, but let's pretend that my screenshot doesn't quite fill the screen for whatever reason. It's a square photo, it's horizontal, it's vertical format. How do I fill the space? You can use a color generator like I've done here. That's fine, you can do that. Or you can fill it with a blur. So if I go over to generators, I think it is. No, it's not. It's effects. And honestly, just play with this. Where is it? Where's my blur? Where are my blurs? I might be under... oh, it's under filters. Okay, so we can drag a blur. No, I'm doing the wrong thing. It's called a blanking fill. I haven't done this in a while. Often I just find I forget the different things I'm looking for. There is something in here called a blanking fill, which right now, there it is. Drag and drop the blanking fill, and it'll fill in behind, just to give you a full screen of video. Anyway, let's get rid of that. Reset our timeline. I'm going to delete that extra stuff. Shrink this down. Once you've got the timeline how you want, so you've got titles, you've got different clips, you've got transitions, maybe you've faded the video in and out. Once you're ready to deliver it, you go to the Deliver tab. Like I say, personally, almost never touch the color tab and don't touch the Fairlight tab. Then you've got different export formats. So let's say you want to make a reasonable quality, HD quality YouTube video. So that's 1080p. There's a preset here for YouTube. You can set all your own settings if you know what you're doing. You give it a name, like example clip, resolution, 60 frames a second. You want that. Probably MP4. I'm not sure if there's a quality difference between these two. You've got choices of different codecs. That's going to depend on what you're going to do with the video. Is it going to YouTube? How are you going to use it afterwards? Click add to render queue. Where do you want to put it? So have an output folder somewhere. And then you click render over on the right hand side. This is going to render very quickly because it's very short and it's very simple. If I go to DaVinci Projects and example clip. And there it is. Got the background audio, the music, sorry, and we've got a little bit of game audio as well there. I'm going to turn it down so we're not deafened. Okay, there's our sample clip. In terms of what I do, for example, for our channel and for gameplay clips I record for myself, I have a couple of presets over here. If I could get the scroll to work, over here on the left. So I have a 4K highest quality one. These are the settings I use: QuickTime 265, 4K 60 FPS, and then preset is quality. And quality here is best. Now that takes a long time to render. Default I think is balanced, but on the quality setting, you get really nice. You can see the difference once YouTube's chewed on it as well and stripped out the detail. You can see the difference. So that's the settings I use: is 4K 60 FPS best, and then preset quality, and that seems to generate really nice output files. Let's render this again. Example clip 4K. This will take, I mean, the first clip rendered in what, 5 seconds. This will probably take 10 seconds, I would guess. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's not going to be a perfect test, but it's fine just for an example. So that's going to take 30 seconds or so, a lot longer because it's having to do a lot more. But this was not a great example of how I'd really do it, but it's a good example of just how to drop stuff onto the timeline and work with the timeline. Ten seconds to go. Okay, so that took 32 seconds. Let's go to DaVinci Projects, example clip 4K. And there we are. Obviously it doesn't look that great because you're seeing it on a stream, but it definitely looks better than the HD quality one. So back to DaVinci. The general point is you work left to right through these different tabs. Media, you probably won't need cut. You probably won't need Fusion, Color or Fairlight, so it's Media. You put your timeline together in the Edit page, and then you deliver from the Deliver tab. The Media, this is where you browse through your C drive, D drive, wherever you keep your video footage, images, music. I think this stream may have stopped working. Not receiving enough. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The stream might have lost some quality there. I'm not sure. Anyway, you add your media to the media pool so that you can tell DaVinci what it's working with. On the edit page, you open your media pool and drag and drop it to the timeline. You can zoom in and out on the timeline with Alt and mouse wheel. You can scroll left and right with Control and mouse wheel. Where your playhead is, this will show you in the preview pane what's going to be seen, and it looks top down. You can add very simple transitions like fading in and out with these small handles that are on each clip. You can use the effects library to bring in transitions. Let's clear that search here. To bring in different transitions, titles, some very simple generators can be really useful, and different effects like blurs and so on. And then the Deliver tab is where you decide how you're going to export it. This has been a very quick 30-minute stream and overview. I'm going to leave it there.